There was a call. One phone call. That's all it took.
Mr. Pennyworth, there's been an incident.
One phone call, and our lives were changed.
Alfred quickly suits up and starts running, realizing that everything will change from this day forward. Because today is the day Thomas and Martha Wayne, Bruce's parents, have been killed. When Alfred arrives at the scene, a police officer asks him to identify the victims. However, Alfred responds that both are among the city's most prominent figures and can be identified by someone else, as he has a greater responsibility to attend to.
I'll leave the lights on tonight.
When they get back home, Bruce tells Alfred that without his parents, the mansion feels so big and empty. But Alfred assures him that the mansion will never be empty because he will never leave Bruce alone. And that's when we return to the present day, where we see Alfred in bed receiving a different kind of phone call.
Alfred, are you there? Alfred?
I'm right here, sir.
Were you asleep?
It's 3 a.m., Master Bruce. Why would I be asleep?
And that's when we see Batman trying to steer a Predator drone away from the city. When he's done, Alfred asks if maybe tonight Bruce will spend the night at the mansion, but Bruce responds that he won't. Alfred jokingly says he ate the mint he left on Bruce's pillow since Bruce never uses his bed for sleeping, and reminds him that he needs rest because he's fighting off the flu. Batman, however, ignores him and tells Alfred to prepare the Batwing.
Why put your own life aside? Why do you look after him, Alfred? Because he needs me to. He's Batman, and the world is relying on him. He doesn't have time to check his pockets for his wallet and his keys. He doesn't have time for the trivial, and he's so focused on saving everyone else, he forgets himself. He needs someone to remember.
Batman returns home and tells Alfred about a man who has begun terrorizing Gotham with aerial attacks. He explains that the man calls himself the Drone and became vengeful after discovering that one of his former bosses ordered him to bomb a civilian market, resulting in the deaths of 30 people. Now, the Drone is targeting Gotham to send a message to his former employers, vowing that they will feel the pain and suffering experienced by the civilians they harmed. Because all the workers, designers, and manufacturers all live in Gotham, meaning any building could be a potential target. Before Alfred can say a word, Bruce acknowledges that he knows he needs to rest, but insists he'll sleep only after stopping the drone, as he refuses to let anyone die. Alfred nods in understanding and mentions that he's prepared some soup. When Bruce skeptically asks how he's supposed to eat soup in a jet, Alfred explains that he anticipated this and poured it into a flask.
And every time he leaves, I prepare for his return. I try to anticipate his needs. I prepare for his return, or I wait for the call that tells me he's all right, or the other one.
While we see Batman trying to shoot down one of Drone Man's machines, Alfred tells us how every time Gotham is threatened, Batman sees it as his responsibility, and how whenever something bad happens to Gotham, he sees it as his failure.
Alfred, notify emergency services. Explosion at Barlow Street, between 11th and 12th.
Batman starts looking for casualties, but notices that the building is abandoned. Not understanding why the Drone Man would attack an empty building, Batman spots a man lying there and goes to help him.
Can you hear me?
He notices an injured man and tells him that he's going to get him out of there. However, when he again asks Alfred why the drone attacked this building specifically, the injured man suddenly... And it's the drone who tells Batman that he has to kill him. Batman quickly overpowers him, restrains him, and calls the police. When they arrive, he swiftly escapes, but that's when...
Alfred.
Sir, are you done for the evening?
Alfred,
I need a pickup.
Alfred starts running, grabs one of the masks, and heads to the Batmobile. But that's when we see Batman already surrounded by thugs, until...
Were you truly planning on mugging Batman?
He starts scolding the criminals, saying that after Batman has done so much for the city and saved its people so many times, they still try to hurt him.
Gentlemen, I suggest you change careers.
Alfred picks up Batman and places him in the car, but then notices that Bruce is losing far too much blood. He instructs the car to auto-drive to Leslie Tompkins' house, reclines the seat, and starts administering a blood transfusion.
Batman! Batman, it's Alfred! Code black, code black!
What happened?
Leslie and Alfred quickly get Batman into her house, and soon after,
It's okay, Alfred. He's stable.
Leslie notices Alfred's black eye and examines it, remarking that the circles around his eyes are so dark it's hard to tell where the bruise begins. She asks him when he last got at least 8 hours of sleep, and Alfred replies that he sleeps when he can, when he knows Batman is safe.
Every time I walk through Gotham, I see people with family, with friends, with lives. People who wouldn't be here without him.
And he couldn't do it without you.
He could, but it would be harder.
Hours later, Bruce wakes up. Leslie instructs him to be quiet and explains that Alfred needs rest because it's clear he's incredibly exhausted. She adds that he too must rest tomorrow, as Alfred won't be able to relax otherwise. The next morning, Alfred wakes up in a panic, afraid he missed something. That's when Bruce steps in and tells him that he took his communicator and phone because he wants Alfred to rest today. However, as Bruce is about to leave, Alfred explains that he can't stay in bed knowing Bruce might be in trouble.
If you expect me to stay in bed not knowing if you're...
I'm not going.
What?
I realize you can't relax if I'm out there.
He also tells him that he's not very mobile after the injury, so he will have others patrol the city today.
I didn't want you to have to worry today.
Really? And why is today so special?
Get some rest, Alfred.